Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for coming back to Pipe Time with me, your host, JC. Guys, I am so disappointed. I had an epic video made of me cleaning and restoring a pipe that my wife had purchased for me. And guys, it was nasty. Uh, got the whole thing recorded, recorded a great video about it, and come to find out, my audio was not connected. So the whole entire video has no audio. So unfortunately, you guys don't get to see that. It's pretty bummed out. Um, Spent a lot of time. I spent about 3 days restoring this thing. Using a reamer to get out all the old tobacco, soaked it in alcohol, soaked it in OxyClean, really cleaned it up nice, got it all the way down to fresh wood inside, polished it up, and man, it turned out to be a really nice looking pipe. I was so excited to get this out to you guys, and my audio failed, so that's a bummer. So here we are making a video for this week. Again, Pipe Time, we will be releasing a video every Friday, and we will be talking about a wide range of things. I am a Christian. I will be talking about a little bit about my faith from time to time, just be talking about life, be talking about smoke and pipe, you name it. We're going to talk about it here. As if you guys have been smoking pipe, even for a short amount of time, you know that smoking pipe is something that we gentlemen enjoy as a leisure hobby. And it's a great time to reflect and think about things, and listen to other people think and talk about things. So that's why us here at Pipe Time exist, just to be a place to talk about things. So I'm going to pack me up a bowl here a minute. I'm going to be smoking out of this unbranded Meerschaum lined pipe. I actually bought this at Iwin and Rice in Chicago this past weekend. I've already smoked out of it a few times. You can tell it's dirty. They definitely did not sell it like that. I really enjoy smoking out of this pipe. It's not my favorite, but I always like smoking out of the new ones a little bit. The other one I have with me is just this little mini oval bowl that I bought just for a quick, short smoke. So I do keep that with me if there's ever a time where I'm like, you know what, I just need to go sit down for 20 minutes and think about some stuff. I've got this nice little Jeanette Breyer mini bowl. This is definitely not a daily smoker, but it looks like it'll be a nice little smoke. So I'm excited. This looks like it's unsmoked too, so I'm excited to smoke this. I did soak this in whiskey for about 8 hours, so it should be nice and seasoned in there. And excited to smoke this. Haven't smoked it yet, but we're not going to do that right now. All right, so we are gonna pack this bowl up with the buttered rum from Iwin and Rice and Company. Guys, this is awesome. I went there and bought a couple pipes, and those guys gave me this 1.5 ounces for free for buying some pipes from there. So those guys are awesome. No wonder they've been in business for so long, and I'm really excited to smoke this. I have been smoking a couple bowls of this. The only thing is, this is pretty wet. It's a pretty wet tobacco, so it does take a few minutes to get going. I'm going to use, I have a journal here I'm taking field notes on as I'm preparing for my PhD dissertation. I'm actually going to use the back of this a little bit to separate this, because it's just a flatter surface. So we're just gonna break up some of this here. And as you guys can tell, this is a very, very large cut. These are large pieces. There's not really that. I mean, I wish you guys could smell this. It smells amazing, but some pretty large pieces in there. So I do break these bigger ones apart. We'll get the camera tilted down here a little bit. So I do pull this apart because it is pretty big and pretty wet. And so pulling it apart just kind of helps it dry quicker in the pipe. I've heard people put it in the microwave to dry it out a little bit, but I don't like doing that. I can't say I've ever actually done it, but I just don't like the idea of microwaving my tobacco. I'm just going to let the fire and the embers do their job. I don't want the microwave to microwave it and take anything out of the tobacco. And so these little bit larger chunks here, I'm just breaking up. And they also help fit in the pipe a little bit easier too. I've had a really good week this week. It was my birthday on Sunday, and we went to Chicago on Saturday. No, we went to Chicago on Friday. I was able to get these pipes and some of this tobacco. And then Sunday, we went to the zoo with my daughter and granddaughter, who are visiting up here from Tennessee. So that was a lot of fun. And Sunday was my birthday, so we were at the zoo on my birthday, which was a lot of fun. Always enjoy going to the zoo with the little ones. Definitely got some cool animals here at the John Ball Zoo in Grand Rapids. So definitely enjoyed that time. My mom and my sister also were able to come with us, which was fun. My sister is visiting up here from Florida, so it was nice to see her as well. So yeah, so we spent the day at the zoo yesterday, and we all came home and took naps because that was a long day at the zoo, and who doesn't like a good nap after a long, hot summer day at the zoo? When I'm packing a bowl like this, I always like to pack it down, but then I do like to kind of take a draw to see how hard I'm packing it, because I don't like them packed real hard. And with this super wet stuff, it can be easy to overpack it because it compacts real nice. And this definitely takes longer to light than a dry tobacco for sure. So you'll see me lighting it a few more times than you normally would have to with a regular, more dry tobacco. But that's okay. All right, let's dump this back in here. Another nice thing about using this little journal is you just bend it right in half and you don't lose any tobacco. And then your journal starts smelling like tobacco too, so that's always fun. So fold this up, put this back in my roll here. Got to get my lighter out. I use a Zippo lighter. If you guys have been watching my other videos, you know that I use a Zippo lighter with this pipe insert. This is created specifically for pipes, so it does not have those windproof holes there, so it is not windproof, at least as much as a normal Zippo is, but it does create an opening for the smoke to come down through here when you are taking a draw of the pipe. So let's get this tilted back up. Tamper this down, push those embers down in there. There we go. Nice thing about this, once it gets going, it stays going and burns real nice. And the flavor of this is really good. This is that butter rum. So while I was at Iwan and Rice, I think that's how you pronounce it. Forgive me if I'm wrong. They taught me a cool little trick for if you're smoking a bowl and you have to stop before it's finished, rather than wasting the tobacco that's in here by emptying it out. What they do is they'll take a pipe cleaner and they'll just roll it up real tight. Just keep rolling it nice and tight. And then you bend this up, and that goes right in the top of your bowl, like so. And then this, you can pull it right back out, because you know if you let the tobacco sit in there, it'll just burn out. And so you just put that in there. It kills the burn, and it stops the scent, and it stops you from losing any of your tobacco. And you just pull this right back out and light her back up again. So I thought that was a pretty cool trick that I had learned. Something else that I learned, which I didn't know about meerschaum, is that, so this meerschaum lined pipe, so this is a wooden pipe with a meerschaum insert. You can smoke a meerschaum pipe or a meerschaum lined pipe over and over and over again in the same day without needing to worry about any excessive moisture, because the meerschaum will absorb that where the wood does not. So like if you're smoking a wooden pipe, they suggest that you let it rest for 4 to 5 hours, so that moisture can be completely evaporated or dried up inside of the pipe, where you do not need to do that. You can smoke this all day long and not have to worry about the moisture content. So I thought that was pretty cool insight. So I'm sitting here down by the river here today. We live by a river with a little dam and a train trestle, which is pretty cool. You know, living here and growing up here, I really forget how unique of a spot this is. And so I've been coming down here a little bit more frequently, because it is a really cool spot. It's a nice little park. It's got a river with a waterfall, and it's really absolutely beautiful. I'll bring you guys over there in a little bit. Once I get this pipe to stay lit. Well, like I said, this butter and rum is excessively wet, so it does take a little bit more to light it. All right, let's take a walk down by the river. All right, guys, here we are down by the river. There is our dam with a waterfall. It's not flowing very much right now. We're kind of in a drought. We have not had a good rain in several weeks. So the river is actually quite low. But yeah, and then you can see back there is the train trestle that used to be fully active up until like a year ago. It is still used with a small local train for the lumber store, but yeah, so that is our trestle. It's pretty cool, pretty historic. It's been part of the community here for a really long time. So you can probably see why I enjoy coming down here and sitting down here by the river. It's just a really beautiful, beautiful sight. The river goes that way, and you got the main road right there as well. So really nice and close, really, really beautiful spot. So let's go back to the picnic table. All right, here we are back at the picnic table underneath the gazebo. They just redid this park here a few years ago and made it really, really nice. So very blessed to have this location. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about something. I'm a Christian. You guys know that. And as a Christian, I have been struggling with the church for a really, really long time. How it functions, how it doesn't function, things that are being taught, things that aren't being taught. And it seems the more that I talk to people about it, especially those that are either outside of the church or have stepped away from the church, most of them are in agreement with me. And the problem is I don't know what to do about it. I wrote a book called Awakening the Sleeping Giant, A Guide to Living Out the New Testament Church, with hopes of really reaching those seeking how to live out the New Testament church. The problem is those that read it agree with it, but they're not willing to do what it actually teaches, because it is so bold and it is so costly from a sacrificial standpoint that they're just not willing to do it. So the book has not done as well as I was really hoping it would. I have not gotten as much fruit or results from it that I wish I would. And the problem is, it is backed biblically by tons and tons and tons of scripture. I wanted to make sure that the information that I was sharing in that book was not just my own information, but it was biblical, and it was information that people could not only get from that book, but get from scripture as well. So I not only did I put the scripture references in there, I actually wrote the scriptures themselves in the book, which makes it hard to deny what is being talked about. The problem is that there's so many people that they're okay with just going to a church and sitting there and not doing anything else. They're okay with agreeing with the pastor. They're okay with believing a truth or agreeing with the truth. But when it comes to actually obeying the truth, that's a whole different ballgame altogether. And I think what we have forgotten as Christians is that when Jesus gave the command to go and make disciples, he did not give the command to go and make disciples and teach them everything I taught you. He gave the command to go and make disciples and teach everyone to obey what I taught you. That obey part has become the issue. People don't want to obey the scripture because a lot of times the scriptures counter how we are living our lives before we change. And as much as people say they want change and like change, the reality of it is most people don't want to change, but the gospel demands that we change. And ever since I've started smoking pipe, which has only been like maybe 4 or 5 months, has really given me some intentional time to sit back and reflect on some of this stuff that I've been thinking through and working on for the past several years. Which again is one of the reasons I enjoy smoking pipe. It really gives me that time. It kind of forces me into this hour of solitude where I can think, I can write, I can make videos, I can study, and it's really gotten me into a place where I'm really ready to step into something new. Now, I'm not sure what that something new is. I do have some ideas. I've been praying and seeking some guidance on this. Um, but I'm not 100% sure what that looks like yet. But I do feel there needs to be a space where truth can be preached, and it can be preached without anything getting in the way. And I think the main thing that gets in the way is money. And so I do feel like there needs to be a way for truth to be preached where money is not part of the deal. Um, and I'm not quite sure what that looks like and how people will respond to that. I don't want to be a cog in the wheel yelling from the streets, right? I don't want to just be preaching to nobody. Um, but I don't know what that response would look like. But part of my book, Awakening the Sleeping Giant, A Guide to Living Out the New Testament, is about building the church from a biblical perspective, not from a North American perspective. So if you're a Christian listening to this or not a Christian listening to this, you probably have an idea in your head about church when I say church. I'm not talking about the institution. I'm not talking about the building. I'm not even talking about things that go on in the church. I'm talking about the biblical church from the New Testament. And that is radically different from what we see today. I'm just trying to figure out how do we move forward in getting that started? How do we start becoming the biblical church? Because I've, without starting to build it myself, I haven't seen anybody take hold of it. I haven't seen anybody start to run with it. I mean, they always go back to the traditional style of church, which is frustrating to me. And so I'm trying to figure out, what is God calling me to do as a Christian who's not afraid to speak the truth? What is he calling me to do in terms of the church? I don't know. I do know that a lot of what Jesus taught is not socially acceptable, especially today. A lot of it's not culturally acceptable, especially today. And I'm not afraid to teach that by any means. In fact, I do teach it to some degree already. But I do believe there needs to be a larger platform where that is taught. And so if you guys have any thoughts, any ideas, I would love to hear those from you. It just seems that whenever I talk to somebody A lot of people have great things to say. A lot of people have great suggestions. They have great opinions. But the funny thing is those very people who suggest things aren't willing to run with me in them. It's a great idea, and I think that's the problem with a lot of Christians today is the Bible is a great idea. What it suggests is a great idea, but most are just not willing to actually do it. And I'm willing to do it. I just got to figure out how and what that looks like. We have got to get back to the biblical understanding and the biblical functioning of the church. And I believe unless I step out and start doing something on a larger scale than I have been, that's not going to happen. I'm not saying that I'm the only one that's out there that believes this, but I do believe that the Lord has given me some special insight, and he has allowed me to see things that others haven't, and it has to be lived out. And so I'm trying to figure that out. And that's a lot of time what I spend, when I'm smoking a pipe, is I spend time thinking and reflecting and meditating on that. Which is a great way to start hearing the Lord, It's been a really great thing for me. So I hope pipe smoking is equally as beneficial for you as it is for me when it comes to thinking and meditating through things and talking through issues, whether it's with somebody else or with the Lord or on a video. It's been a really great time. That's why I love pipe time, because pipe time allows me that hour, that half hour, that 2 hours, whatever it is that you're smoking, just to sit back, relax, and think about what you're doing with your life, what direction are you going, and what changes can you make in your life to bring change to this world. So guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of Pipe Time. Again, I am your host, JC. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel, like these videos, share them with your friends, your family, your neighbors, your dog, your cat, your horse in the stable. Let everybody know about Pipe Time, as we are just a casual pipe smoking group, and we just want to talk about stuff and smoke pipes together. So thanks guys for watching Pipe Time. Until next time, keep smoking.